What is going on, guys? I am the FT Guru, bringing to you guys episode 31 of my fantasy sports podcast. And slowly but surely, I am putting all this video crap together bit by bit, and I have now figured out how to put my video screen in the top right corner while I show you guys what I'm thinking about for the slate. So we get a visual and you get to see my pretty face up in the corner. So best of both worlds. And I'm going to be talking to you guys about NFL Week 13 coming up on Sunday. So there's a bunch of slates that FanDuel offers, but I just discuss guys I like for the main slate. That's where you have your biggest tournaments, and that's where there's the most games. It's the most fun slate every football Sunday. So I'll dive into the slate and tell you guys some players I'm looking at. Reason why I'm doing this on Friday is because I don't really do video podcasts on the weekend. So Friday seems the best day. We get all the news for, all week from all the practices, and we get a good idea on what guys are probably going to be on the field on Sunday and what guys are probably going to be sitting out for their respective teams. So we had a fantastic week last week, and it got capped off by yesterday's Monday-Thursday slate. I had a couple customers take down some small tournaments I posted on Twitter. I won a $10 tournament. It was like 350 people, and I won $300. It was a great Monday-Thursday lineup, and all the prior lineups on Sunday for Week 12 cashed in. I think we had like 7 out of 8 lineups cash in, or 8 out of 10 lineups, something like that. It was a crazy week. All my members profited a bunch, so I advise you to get on my picks for Week 13 on Sunday. Just visit my website, fd-guru.com. Eventually, I'll be able to know how to make some crazy cinematic, link on my video while I do that. But right now, we're sticking to the basic things. I got the video in the corner. That's enough for me as of now. So let's dive right into this week's slate. And at quarterback, I'm looking for Tom Brady in cash games. Brady is just, not even arguably, he's probably just the best quarterback of all time. He has a great matchup against the Bills. The Bills have had awful, awful games as of late. They played pretty well against the Chiefs last week, but overall, their defensive rank is not good. Brady is going to absolutely dominate them. He's going to come into Buffalo. The fans are going to think that they are going to alter the game with their negative claims towards them and all the cheering. Brady's just going to put them in their place. He should be fine in this game. I love him in cash games. You can expect him to get at least 15 or more fantasy points. Brady is just a huge cash game quarterback in my opinion, and I can spend up for him because I know plenty of value for the rest of the lineup. I'll get into that, though, obviously. Another guy you could look at is Alex Smith. He's coming off of a pretty lackluster performance against the Buffalo Bills, but expect him to play much better against the New York Jets. Their defense is very underwhelming. Smith finds himself in a pretty good spot. If not in cash games, you can definitely throw him in a couple GBPs. He's got a very fair price at $7,500. Smith has been good all year, really. He's had a couple bad games, but overall, Alex Smith is definitely a confident quarterback, and you should have a lot of trust in him for your lineups. Moving on to running back, I'm a huge Leonard Fournette guy this week. He is $8,700, but he's at home, and he's against a terrible Colts defense. 30th overall. He's a full participant all week, especially on Wednesday, so expect him to have, a good practice yesterday and today on Friday. All the reports are saying his ankle's in better shape and he should stay busy on Sunday. He's going to have a big workload regardless. I think he gets in the end zone at least once. I think he's going to be hovering around 100 yards rushing, and he should have a couple catches in there as well. So the Jaguars are probably going to be looking to run their offense through Leonard Fournette. He just makes the whole team much better on every aspect on the field. So Leonard Fournette is worth the price at $8,700. Another guy you could possibly look at is Kareem Hunt. Maybe GBP. He has gone down to his lowest salary of the year, $6,900. Nice. and 26 rush defense, the Jets. So I think Kareem Hunt can exploit this defense, and I think he should have lower ownership because he has been ass in his last 4 games. 3 points, 9, 8, and 8. He hasn't seen the end zone since week 2, so it's a pretty sad sight. Kareem Hunt. He was looking for a promising year, and now he's kind of fallen off. He could see a huge swing in things though in Week 13 against the Jets. Definitely keep an eye on Hunt. He might go overlooked. I think he has crazy upside. I think he's great in tournaments. I don't know if I trust him enough in cash. The reason why is because I'm heavily looking towards Jamal Williams on the Packers at 5,700. We have Montgomery continuingly to be out, and Williams had a huge game against Pittsburgh last week, 27 fantasy points. But as you can see here, since he's come into the starter's role, he's seen some pretty consistent output in fantasy. 10, 8, 11, and of course 27 sets the ceiling high on him. There's no Aaron Rodgers. The whole Packers offense is completely different now, so expect Williams to see 20 rushing attempts, which is awesome, especially at 5,700. I think that's great value for him. I think he's a huge cash play in my opinion. The Buccaneers are underwhelming at best on defense in general. I think Williams could see a bunch of targets as well for receptions. So he should get his rushing attempts. He should get a few catches. William poses a fantastic value at running back this week. So look at him and heavily consider him at running back. Wide receivers, again, there's a ton of value out here. I'm going to just dive into a couple guys I like. If we jump on over to the Oakland game, we have Amari Cooper out, most likely. He hasn't participated all week in practice, so we can assume he's going to be out on Sunday. Keep an eye on it, though. If he is playing, it changes things just a little, but he's probably not going to be playing. You have Crabtree suspended for this week after getting in his MMA fight with Hakeem Talib. Those were two absolute thugs going at it on Sunday. It could have got real messy real fast. It was pretty bad. So Crabtree's out. Cooper's probably going to be out. Even Cordarrelle Patterson is questionable and he's been limited. You want to know what this tells me? This tells me that I am loving Seth Roberts at 4,900. And look what this note says. Highly involved in the Oakland Raiders practice on Wednesday. He's looking like the wide receiver 1 on Sunday. He's got a fantastic matchup against the New York Giants. He's basically going up against a pile of shit on defense. So I love Seth Roberts. 4,900 is fantastic. I think I'm going to be plugging him in all my cash lineups, a lot of my GBP lineups. I'm very high on Seth Roberts this week, especially if Amari Cooper is out. So keep an eye on that. Seth Roberts is great value at wide receiver. Another receiver I'm looking at is Brandon Cooks at 7,600. He has failed to disappoint me all year. As you look at his game log, he is very consistent. And I think Brady's going to be targeting him more and more. Since Chris Hogan's been out, he has seen 11, 9, and 7 receptions. That is not a coincidence. The Patriots are targeting Cooks more with no Hogan. Hogan has been out. He's currently doubtful, which obviously tells me that he's not going to play. He didn't take part in Friday's practice today. That's a new note as of now that I didn't see. So that even makes me more confident in the case of Brandon Cooks. I like him a lot, especially if you're picking Tom Brady like I advised you to do earlier. A pairing of Brady and Cooks certainly doesn't hurt nobody. We can be pretty confident in something going on between that duo, especially in cash games. Take a look at Brandon Cooks and really consider him in at that wide receiver slot. Another guy I'm looking at is Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has been fantastic all year, and 6,300 is a very affordable price. I like him a lot at 6,300. He has been very well. He's been getting a ton of targets. He's been, a huge piece in this Rams offense. And what has me higher on him is that it's looking like, what's his face? Let me just go over to the game. Jesus. Jesus Christ, where is this game? Here we go. Rams. Robert Woods is doubtful with a shoulder injury, and he was out last week. That takes away a lot of targets in this Rams receiving core. You know, he sees up to 10 targets a game. When he's not playing, that's 10 targets that need to go somewhere else. And that goes to Sammy Watkins and Cooper Kupp. So I like Kupp more. I think Watkins is more of a GPP guy because he's a flashy, big play wide receiver. Cooper Kupp is more of the, short down reception type receiver. So he's more of a cash play in my opinion. I think he's going to get 10 targets. I think he's going to, get plenty of receptions, plenty of yards. Watkins is good for GBP because he can have a huge play. He might only get a couple catches, but he could have a 50-yard catch for a touchdown. You could actually pair both of them in cash games. I did that last week, and it benefited me highly. You could do the same this week. The Arizona defense isn't good enough to scare me away from doing that. I like Sammy Watkins a lot. Moving on to tight ends, I think Travis Kelce is a fair play at 7,000. He had an off week last week, but the Chiefs in general just had an off week against a good matchup against the Bills. I think that's going to drive some of his ownership down. If you can look past last week, you can look before 10 targets, 9 targets, 14 targets. Kelce's a huge focal point in this Chiefs offense. I think he's going to be able to exploit the Jets defense. I think 7,000 is a very fair price on him at tight end. I think he's going to go a little bit overlooked. So keep an eye on Travis Kelce a bunch. He's probably my favorite tight end to go for. If you want to spend up, I do love Rob Gronkowski, especially if you have Tom Brady. If you're looking to roster Gronkowski, I wouldn't advise you to do it with Cooks as well. That's just too much going on, maybe in a GPP. But if you have Brady and you want to do a pairing of Cooks in Brady or Gronkowski in Brady, that's very okay. I would definitely advise you to do so. Gronk is coming off of a monster game, 2 touchdowns, 22 fantasy points. He's just a beast. So expect to see a Gronk spike on Sunday against the Bills. I think he could have a really big game. I think Brady loves him. I think this game's going to be very competitive. There's always a competitive game in that division matchup against the Bills and Pats. It's in Buffalo. I don't see the Patriots blowing them out. They obviously could. They're the New England Patriots. But I think Brady's going to have to throw a good amount of passes in this game for them to win this game easily. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring going on the Patriots side of things. So keep an eye on Gronk. I like Kelce the most, though, like I said. Kickers, who really gives a shit? I mean, the best thing I could advise you is pick a kicker in a dome. Pick him if you're keeping an eye on the weather on Sunday. Don't pick a kicker who's in torrential downpours, 25-mile-an-hour winds, brick titty cold, 25 degrees. I mean, just don't do it. Just pick a kicker that's going to be in a projected high-scoring game in a dome. I'm looking at Graham Gano. He's in good form. He's kicking really well. But that's about it. I can't really bring up kickers any more than that. Just don't pick a guy who's coming off of an awful game, missing 3 kicks, and he's in a bad environment. He's not at home. He's in bad weather. Just keep an eye on that. I like Graham Gano, but you guys can decipher things yourself. Defense for cash games, I am looking at the Jaguars. They always find a way to score. They hadn't been playing well against the Cardinals. They let up a ton of points. They had like 1 fantasy point going into the fourth quarter, and then at the end, they have a scoop and score fumble. I mean, it was just absolutely fantastic. I had them across the board. They were a huge reason why I did so well in Week 12. I'm probably going to pick them again, and they're going to be a huge reason why I do well in Week 13. They are 5,600, but I have the money to do so in my projected lineup for now. I think they're completely worth the money. They just are too good of a defense against too poor of an offense. The Colts offense is pretty bad. Another defense you could possibly look at is the Denver Broncos in Miami. The Dolphins are pretty bad on offense in general. Is Cutler even playing? I know he was in concussion protocol. Yeah, it looks like he's going to play even better. I think Matt Moore is a better quarterback than Cutler. The Broncos could have a big fantasy day. Their defense hasn't been good all year, but GBP-wise, I do like the Broncos. Their price is $4,600. Normally, if you're a frequent FanDuel player, their price is normally around $5K. So take advantage of this for GBPs. I think they should do fine against the Dolphins. I could even see Von Miller just getting all up in Jay Cutler's grill, maybe forcing a fumble, maybe forcing a scoop and score. Keep an eye on the Broncos D. And that's going to really sum it up, guys. There's plenty of other guys going around. There's a ton of games, but I thought I would just point out some players. This video should help you. And if it does, definitely like the video, subscribe, like the tweet I do linking this video. I'm trying to just get as many subscribers as possible. I have a quick 50 subscribers already, guys. I appreciate it. Just keep on subscribing if you haven't done so, and if this video helps you, like it. And until next time, guys, I am the FD Guru, and I am signing off.